Alright guys, welcome back. Welcome to my YouTube channel, TechTiger-Academy, Cybersecurity with Ravi Malhotra. And this is a series, Checkpoint NGX R80.40 CCSA. This is lecture number 20. We have reached lecture number 20, and in this lecture, we will talk about the management server object. We'll talk about security management server object. Uh, this video is a lecture as well as like navigation. I will show you how the management server object actually looks like in reality from my virtual machines. This whole training is on the is on based on like VMware platform. So I'm using VMware Workstation to create all the virtual machines, and then I'm using Checkpoint version R80.40 on top of that. Okay. So let's start, guys. So these all are the previous lectures as well as the labs, right? We have been through 19 lectures till now. Okay, this is lecture number 20, and those who are watching this video just for the first time, and if they really want to learn checkpoint technology seriously, I will request them to go through all of my videos and links as well, where they can read the whole stuff. It will help them to prepare for the CCSA exam also. So this is security management server object. Okay. So as we know that just due to the architecture, it's a three-tier architecture. There is a security management server, there is a gateway. All right. There are two different types of installation. Is that either you can install security management server and gateway on a single appliance or on a single virtual machine, or you can install them separately. Okay. So the moment security management server is created, right? And the moment you try to log in to the security management server using your smart dashboard for the very first time, you will see that the object for the smart center server will be created for you by default. Okay, you do not need to create that object. This object is already there. Okay, with the IP address and with the blades enabled. Okay. So security management server object is created by default, and this object will be shown with the host name that you configured during the GAiA installation. Okay, it's always a best practice not to change the host name, because the certificate authority is associated with this host name, right? All the certificates that will be created are on the basis on the host name of the security management server. So it's not advisable to change the host name once it is established. You see objects created for security management server for the first time when you log into Smart Console. I'll show you that. This object is created with host name given during GAiA installation. These blades are checked by default in the security management server. Okay. So one you will see is network policy management. This option is checked by default. Other option is logging and status. That's the second option. And third option is provisioning. That's the third option, right? These three are created for you by default. Let me now take you to my dashboard. Okay, that's my dashboard. This is my security management server. This object was created automatically for me. Let me also take you to my virtual machine. That is my virtual machine, SMS1, right? This is what I'm using. Admin. Password is TechTiger-Academy. Oh, okay. Let me try again. I'm sorry. Come on. All right, I'm logged in now. So the moment you logged in, you will see the host name. The host name is SMS-1, Smart Center Server 1. That's my primary Smart Center server. and this is how the object is created. Okay, I'll double click this object, and you'll see that the name is there, the IP address is there, and the network policy management and logging and status option is checked by default. Okay, similar thing you can also see the moment you highlight, let's say that firewall, and the moment you highlight Smart Center Server 1, this is also, you see that these are the management blades enabled for you, network policy management as well as logging and status, right? So these two options are enabled for you. All right, let me go back. So this is done. Let us move now. Security management server object. So there are additional blades as well available in the security management server. Similarly, we have additional blades in the firewall object. Take an example, IPS, anti-bot, anti-malware, antivirus, VPN, right? Active Directory, URL filtering, application filtering, content awareness, and all that. Similarly, we have additional blades in the security management server. These blades are SmartEvent server, and SmartEvent correlation unit. Okay, this is how you see that here. See that SmartEvent server, and SmartEvent correlation unit. These modules are not enabled by default for you. You need to enable them as per the needs. Then there's a compliance. Then there's a user directory. There's a workflow. There's endpoint policy management, and there's a secondary smart center server. So these are the additional modules available for you, which you can check on the basis of the needs. Of course, just keep watching this channel and keep watching videos. You will of course see videos one-on-one on all these topics as well. Okay. So let me take you over there again. I'll just click on the smart center server object, and so these are the objects, right? Smart event server, smart event correlation unit, user directory, compliance, identity management, endpoint policy management, and secondary server. So these are the blades which you can check once you need them, right? But they are not enabled by default for you. I'm just clicking on cancel now. Let me move. So there are additional tabs available for you in the security management server object. Let me show you that. Okay, out of all these objects, right, log is one of the most critical piece to understand, which I'm going to tell you now. The second tab available is network management, which talks about the interfaces, just because it's a security management server, so its topology is not as important as the topology of the gateway, so it's not that important. Then there is a NAT option. Similar to all other objects like server, if you want to do NAT for this kind of server, let's say that if you want this server to be accessible outside with the help of static NAT, you can configure static NAT and all that, right? Similarly, hide NAT so that this PC should be able to access internet and all that. Let us move to the logs section. So the first thing that you will see here is that gateway here. That means so this this management server, okay, has one uh, gateway, right? So this gateway is sending logs to this management server, right? And this entry is coming over here on the basis of the SIG established. Okay, so let me show you that. That's my gateway. I'll double click on my gateway object, and then I'll click on this communication tab. I'll click on this test SIG status, and it is showing as communicating, right? So that means a SIG has been established between security management server and gateway, and that's the reason in the management server object, in the logs section, it is showing gateway as the gateway, right, which is there. So give it some time, it will come here automatically, right? uh, so we'll talk about log indexing, right? Normally log indexing feature is not enabled by default. Okay, log indexing is not enabled by default. Log indexing provides fast responses for log queries. Sometimes you need to create some specific queries, to get some specific analysis of data. These queries take time, but if logs have been indexed, right, then it will actually provide you fast response for the queries that you have created. but but as a reason, just because it's indexing, it needs to create a lot of algorithms. So log indexing uses more storage also. That's something that you need to remember that. Okay, so it is also mentioned over here, the log indexing uses more storage to provide fast log queries. Okay, so this is so the moment you check this option here, the log indexing uses more storage to provide fast log responses. All right. So let us move ahead now. Let me take you to the storage tab now. The storage tab talks about two options: disk space management and daily log retention configuration. Local storage. Checkpoint logs storage tab provides two sections to manage logs. One is called the disk space management, another is called daily log retention configuration, right? Disk space management and daily logs retention configuration. It's important for a firewall administrator to maintain the local storage on the management server to ensure that performance is always best. In the local storage, you can configure to start deleting old log files in a sequential order when the disk space is below either default size of 3 GB or 10% of disk space or any other custom threshold value set. So you can choose either this information should be shown in megabytes or in percentage. Okay. So when disk space is below 3000 MB, you can click on alert, and when disk space is below 5000 MB, then start deleting old files. Okay. So these are the things, right? And then there is a daily log retention policy as well. This option is not checked by default, but if you check it, then these are the two values that you need to configure as parameters. Keep indexed logs for no longer than 14 days. You can increase or decrease it as per the performance, and keep log files for an extra 3650 days. So these are the two options that you need to check in the local storage option. One is called the disk space management, another is called the daily log retention configuration. Let me show you the object now. That's the storage. So disk space management, either it is available in megabytes or it is available in percentage. Okay, and you can increase or decrease it however you like it, right? And you can also choose what to do when the threshold reaches: mail alert, pop-up alert, log, or maybe SNMP trap alert, whatever you want, right? And then it talks about, daily log retention configuration. Apply the following logs retention policy, keeps index logs for no longer than 14 days, 10 days, 13 days, however you want, you can configure it, and keep log files for an extra 3650 days. So that is with the local storage option in the management server object. Let me take you to the next slide now. It says that additional logging configuration, log forwarding. So as you have security management servers, you may have a dedicated log server as well, where you can configure to forward logs. So log forwarding is an important section. Security management server can also be installed as a dedicated log server. You can configure and choose to forward logs to a server, if any. It's very simple. Just go over here, check this option. I do not have any, I have not installed any dedicated log server, but have I installed, then that option will show over here, right? So next is the schedule, right? You can also choose the specific schedule or create a new schedule for management server to forward logs to another log server. Okay, there are many scheduled objects given for a choice, fetch, interval, IPS update. These are the options that you can configure. And you can also create a new scheduled event as well as per your choice. As a use case, I'm giving create a new scheduled object to forward logs every day at 11:55 p.m. Name this object as forward log file. Click on manage new scheduled event. Let me show you that. So if you do not want to choose any of these, you can click on manage new scheduled event. You will create log forward to, just give it a color. Every day, let's say that 23:45, and this should happen every day. Okay, that's all done. So this is how we have done it, right? So 1, 2, 3. Let us move now. Additional logging configuration, log file settings. So this is the log file section here as per my cursor. Log file says that create a new log file when the current log file is larger than. Assume that you only want to maintain a log file of only 100 MB. Let's say you do not want to create a log file larger than 100 megabytes or maybe larger than 500 MB. So then you can maintain that uniqueness of log files. Or you can also say that every day whenever it is 23:59, okay, immediately new log file should be created for the next day as a new log file. Okay, logs are written as in .txt file format. Logs are named as per specific day and date. Format of a log file name is YYYY mmdd colon 6 times 0 dot log, which you can see over here. That's a year, that's month, that's a day, that's 6 times 0 dot log. Okay. You can also open log file of any previous day for log analysis. You need to go to the menu, file open, and you can open previous day file. I will show you in the navigation. You can also export log file to a CSV format in Microsoft Excel so that you can see that, right? So that's what I'm going to elaborate now. Uh, so this is how you can choose a specific file to truncate new log file or maybe at specific event. Let's say that this. Okay, cancel it. And let me take you to logs and monitor. Here it says that the log file is 2020 11 October. So how we'll do it, we'll click on this options. We'll go to file, we'll go to open log files, we'll go to 3rd October, and we'll go to open. So it is now fetching the logs of 3rd October. Okay, and you can also export it. So let's say that file, export to Excel CSV, and just give it untitled.csv. Yes, I think it is done. Let me go back. This is untitled, my Excel sheet. I'll double click on that. Let us wait. Yep, it's coming up. So that's the 3rd October. You can see from the logs, right? And these are all the log files. Okay, these are all the logs of that day. All right. So that was the log files. Create a new log file. This is something we have already done from the object. Let us move. So then there is a advanced setting. Advanced settings say that if you want to stop logging, let's say that the disk space is just have reached, like disk is just about to get 100% fulfilled. So when the disk space reaches just 5% as unavailable, so stop logging. You can configure that in the advanced section. And you can also choose the frequency of updating account logs. Account log means that audit logs every 300 3600 seconds, Normally it should be kept as 600 seconds, but then it depends on the size of an environment. Audit logs, records, and reveals all actions either permitted or denied by any user with complete description of action items. QoS, quality of service logging, is enabled by default. Okay, you can check and enable accept syslog messages. If you want to accept the syslog messages from any other third-party syslog, you can accept it. And you can check and enable smart event intro correlation unit if you enable the smart event blade on the management server. Okay, but these two options are not enabled by default for you. Let me take you over that. I will click on the smart center server object again, and I'll take you to the logs. I'll expand logs. I'll take you to additional logging. So this is how we see that, when disk space is below 100 MB, stop logging. Update accounts every 3600 seconds. QoS logging is enabled by default. Except syslog messages and smart event intro correlation units are not enabled by default. So that's all, guys. That was the theory lecture as well as navigation of a security management server object. In the last lecture, we have already done navigation of a gateway object. That was lecture number 19. Those who have not watched those videos, I will request them just to go through that and enhance their knowledge. Thank you so much, guys. I would like to request to all of you to please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please like this video, leave some comments, and definitely, that will help me, and that will motivate me to create more videos, on different technologies. Take an example, Palo Alto. So that's my next section, which I'm just about to upload. So that's all, guys. Thank you so much, guys. I just wish you best of luck. Have a great day.